Why didn't you make it to the pros? Or more importantly, what if I told you you still could? And before we go any further, I just want to clarify what pro means. It just means you get paid to do it. Being a professional just means whatever it is, you do it so well that there are people who would pay you to do it or pay to watch you do it. So would you be okay with getting paid to play basketball? I want to show you the new path, the new way. I like to say it's a new day because there's a new way to become a professional basketball player. Here's how that works with Rimpage. There are 4 steps. You join Rimpage, you develop yourself, you grow an audience, and then you monetize that audience. So I want to give you a case study to show you how this works for an actual person. Let's say that person is Patrick. Patrick is playing high school basketball on his varsity team, and he's very frustrated because his coach is having him play a position where he doesn't feel like he can make his best contribution. Let's say he's playing in the post because he was one of the tallest players on the team, but he feels like he should be playing guard. When he plays with his friends on the playground, he plays guard. He's on the wing, he's dribbling, he's handling the ball and driving to the basket, making passes. But the coach says, "We don't want you doing that. You're a center. Kick it out to the guard." And so he's so frustrated with that. The coach wants him to play like a center. And so there's this conflict between Patrick and the coach. They're not getting along, and that affects Patrick's playing time. He's not in the starting lineup. So game after game, Patrick is sitting on the bench watching his teammates play in the game, and his team is losing. Now, on the playground, Patrick can beat every one of his teammates. He's better than all of them. But when he brings his talent into organized basketball, where his dream collides with his coach's ego, it causes problems. And the result is Patrick isn't getting playing time. This is soul crushing because it's Patrick's goal to play professional basketball. And if he can't get on the court, how can a scout see him to recruit him to a D1 school so he can do well there and get recruited or get drafted into the NBA? So big problem for Patrick. And this is every day. So in practice, there's the conflict with the coach. Patrick hates playing in the post. So everything the coach tells him to do, he does it half-heartedly. He doesn't go all out because he really doesn't like the position he's playing in. And then in the games, he's sitting on the bench. Imagine how Patrick is feeling about his dream to play professional basketball. Well, one day Patrick is on the bench and he sees someone walk in with a Rimpage shirt, a Rimpage t-shirt. And that shirt says, "There's a new way to become a professional basketball player." And Patrick is all ears because the way he has selected is not working. And up until this point, up until there was a Rimpage, that was the path. That was the only path. But now there's a new way to be a professional basketball player, and Patrick is interested. So he doesn't even wait. He tells the coach he needs to go to the bathroom. So the coach lets him off the bench and he grabs his bag and goes to the bathroom. His phone is in his bag. So while he's in the bathroom, he starts looking up Rimpage and how this Rimpage thing works. And he sees that, oh, it's up to me. So there are no coaches in Rimpage telling me what to do. And there are no gatekeepers in Rimpage telling me you get to play, but you don't. I get to choose. And Rimpage is a worldwide stage, so if I play on Rimpage, people can notice me. People who have decision-making power can notice me. Wow, so that means it's all up to me. Rimpage leaves it up to me. In other words, there's no one standing in my way. So Patrick joins Rimpage right there on the spot. He joins Rimpage. He comes back to the bench and he tells his coach, "Coach, I can't play." And he quits the team right there. And he immediately goes out and he schedules a one-on-one match with one of his friends. And they play that match and he uploads it. He wins it, uploads that match. Then he does it the next day. He plays another match. This one he doesn't win. And he goes on scheduling matches because Rimpage lets you decide who and when and where you play your one-on-one matches. And you send the video in, and that's how you certify the match results and you get your ratings and your rankings and your stats are updated. So Patrick begins playing matches for Rimpage and he gets mixed results. The problem is Patrick can't handle the ball that well. So in a one-on-one situation, he gets stuck in situations in bad positions on the court. But Rimpage also offers basketball training. And so Patrick says, if I'm going to make it in basketball, I need to get better. So he takes the training from Rimpage, and Rimpage teaches a teaches that it's not so much putting in the hours. Like we hear, you need to put in the hours. You need to put in the hours on your craft. That's true, but it's possible. It's possible to train and not get better. Here's the thing: there are four stages of mastery in basketball, and the purpose of practice is to move you through those stages. If your practice is not moving you through those stages, if you're the same player today that you were last year, then your practice isn't serving you. And it's very possible that you can practice and not get better. But Rimpage solves that problem. We tell you how to practice so that you actually improve. So you actually go through those stages of mastery and arrive at mastery. So Patrick does this, and he starts noticing a difference. He notices a difference in his standings, in his stats, where he's more efficient, he's winning more, his ranking is going up. He also notices a difference in his confidence, how he feels about himself. When he goes into a match now, he has a different mindset. He expects to win. And he notices a difference in the attention that he's starting to get. So Patrick is winning these games now. He's starting to get noticed in his city. People are seeing that this guy is pretty good. Finally, a tournament comes up. It's the end of the season, and Rimpage is selecting all of the top players to put them in a city championship tournament because Rimpage wants to know who's the best in that city. And Patrick gets selected to go to the city championship tournament. And let's say Patrick lives in Seattle, Washington. So this is a Seattle, Washington Rimpage championship tournament that will determine who is the best basketball player in Seattle. 32 players. The top 32 players in Seattle get picked. And they're picked based on their ranking. So as they're playing through the season, they're building up their ranking. That's why you play your matches. And no one tells you how many matches to play, but there are a certain number of matches you have to play in order to be eligible. So you got to make sure you're playing enough matches. So Patrick does that, but he played extra matches because he was pushing hard to be one of the top ranked players in his city, because he knows the top 32 get into the tournament. So here he is. He's in that tournament with the other 31 players who represent the top ranked players in Seattle. So Rimpage has this tournament, and one by one, Patrick is knocking them down. He's winning. He's winning. And the momentum is building, and he's feeling more and more confident as he advances through the stages of the tournament. Finally, he's in the top four. So, final four of this tournament. And Patrick wins that match. Now he's in the finals for that tournament. City championship on the line. The guy that he's playing against is a guy who he played against at another high school. That guy also quit and joined Rimpage, and now the two of them are in the finals to see who's the best player in Seattle. Patrick wins that tournament. Patrick wins that tournament. Now he is recognized as the best basketball player in Seattle, Washington. Here's the thing. Patrick was good before he won that tournament, but it didn't matter. No one knew and no one cared how good he was. No one could treat him like a champion until he won that tournament. So he had to join Rimpage in order to win the tournament. And now that he's won the tournament, now his skill can be recognized. And now he gets the rewards for that. So he wins $25,000 for winning his city championship tournament. He also gets the first trophy in the Golden Tetrad. There are 4 trophies in the Golden Tetrad, and only one person will get all 4 of them. But at least 200 people will get 3 of them, because each trophy represents one of the 4 tournaments that determines who's the best in the world. So it starts with the city championship tournament. So now that Patrick has won that tournament, imagine how much his life has changed. And this goes on to the regional championship. Now it needs to be determined who's the best basketball player in Washington, in the whole state of Washington. So all of the city champions in Washington now compete in the regional tournament to see who's the best in Washington. And wouldn't you know it, Patrick wins that tournament as well. So now it is established that this kid who had this conflict with his coach, who couldn't get playing time, who was out of position, coach had him playing in the post when he could really play guard, joined Rimpage, went through Rimpage's training, improved his game, won his city championship, and here he is now being crowned the best basketball player in this whole state of Washington. You know what's next for him? The national championship. Because Rimpage wants to know who is the best basketball player in America. So do you see how this can work for you? Even if we don't go to the national level and the Lions tournament, you can just see how Rimpage can change a basketball player's life. The one thing that I think is key is you can already be the best player in your state, but until it's an established fact, you cannot get rewarded for it. You cannot get recognized for it. That's the key, or that's why a stage is so important. And Rimpage is the only stage that is looking for the best player in every city, the best player in every region, the best player in every country, and ultimately the best player in the world. We know that those players are already out there. In fact, let's just say it's you. Let's say you are the best player in your state. You can't get recognized for that until you win the state championship. You have to win the tournament. Now you can get the rewards and the recognition. So you have to get in Rimpage. You have to start competing. You have to qualify for that tournament. You have to get in that tournament. You have to win that tournament. Now everything blows up for you. Now you get the rewards and the recognition. Now your life changes. That's the power of Rimpage. That's how Rimpage can change your life. And someone watching this video is going to win his city championship tournament. So I'm talking to you. You got to get in this. You got to get out of whatever it is you're in, because you know how that story ends. Less than 1% make it. So that path is the path that leads to shattered dreams. It's the path that leads to nowhere. Sitting on the bench doesn't make sense when there's a new way for you to become a professional basketball player. Don't play for free anymore. Play for pay. Get in Rimpage. Develop your skill so that you're worthy of an audience. We have the training that shows you how to become a master basketball player. Training that actually works. So you can start winning matches. So you can start growing a fan base. Imagine how many fans are following Patrick now. How many fans he has. Let's say he has the whole state of Washington. They're Patrick fans now because he's representing them in the national championship. So the whole state of Washington is behind Patrick now. What if Patrick said, I'm going to wear this t-shirt when I play in that national championship match. So all of my fans buy this t-shirt. You know, when they buy that t-shirt, Patrick gets a percentage of that. He can now monetize his audience, is what I'm saying. In the same way that a successful YouTuber can monetize their audience, Patrick can monetize his audience. And what that means is Patrick is now getting paid. He's a professional basketball player because he gets paid to play basketball. Do you see how Rimpage can change your life? Just a case study. Even without going to the national championship and the Lions tournament level, where like imagine how the life will change of the person who wins the Lions tournament, the person who is established to be the best basketball player in the world. That's pretty cool. So please join Rimpage. I'm talking to you, the one who's eventually going to win that tournament. You got to get in it in order to win it. You got to get into Rimpage. You got to position yourself as one of the top players so you can get invited to that tournament, so you can win that tournament and Rimpage can change your life. Join Rimpage, but also tell your friends to join. Don't leave your friends back there on the bench. They want to be pros as well. Tell them about Rimpage, and all of you guys come together and start playing your matches, take that training, start getting better, start building a reputation, start growing a fan base, monetize that fan base, and all of you guys go pro together. Tell your friends to tell their friends about Rimpage. Let's blow this up. That's how we're going to get the money in, because the players have the power. The fans come to see the players, and the businesses come to advertise to the fans. So The money follows the fans, but the fans follow the players. If all the players come to Rimpage, that's where the fans are going to come, and that's where the money's going to go, and that's the money we're going to use to pay for your national championship, city championship. You get a cash prize for each tournament that you win, and we have a lot of other events and a lot of other ways that you can get paid to play, ways that Rimpage will pay you. That money's going to come from the businesses that come to reach the fans who come to see you. So join Rimpage. Tell your friends to join Rimpage. Tell your friends to tell their friends to join Rimpage, and let's start this. Let's start this revolution. I hope you understand now how Rimpage can change your life. All you have to do is get started. We don't have a draft lottery. We don't have anyone to pick you. This is like YouTube. If you want a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. If you want to become a professional basketball player, it's up to you. It's in your hands. All right, see you on the inside. Join Rimpage. Tell your friends to tell their friends, and change your life.